Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Gentle Yoga with Marcy. That's me. Today's class is dedicated to Purnatva, a Sanskrit term which stands for the principle of perfection or fullness. Not perfection in the sense of Western mindset, which has us twisting ourselves into knots to try to achieve a standard that is unachievable and causes great harm to ourselves and to others. No. Purnatva has to do with fullness, and it's an attribute of the universal. And what is it like to be in a state of fullness? You know the moments when all of a sudden everything just feels full and perfect. And in this state of fullness, you can't take anything out of it. It is always full. And it encompasses all of our experience, including the naughty stuff that we want the most to be rid of and exile from ourselves and this world. And you can't. So what's it like to practice and feel in the body a fullness that encompasses it all? Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's class. To close your eyes if that feels good. Let the upper eyelid meet the lower. Let the lower hold the upper. Or keep them open if you prefer. And as you sit and begin to bring the gaze inward, you may begin to notice yourself differently. As we take that gaze inward, we start to tune into our interoception, that inward perception of ourselves. We may begin to notice even what's going on in different areas of the body, such as a tightness in the shoulders or the neck, or an ease in the chest, or even a little heaviness, or an ease in the belly, or even a little holding. And the invitation here as we begin is simply to notice all of this without there being anything to do about what you find. You're just bringing simple, non-judgmental awareness to what is. And perhaps noticing what happens with the breath as you bring this noticing here. And as you continue to be aware of the movement of breath in you, I will talk a little bit about today's theme, which is Purnatva. And Purnatva is a Sanskrit word which stands for perfection, but not in the Western sense of comparing us to some unattainable standard, which leaves us feeling always rather imperfect and not so good about ourselves, or not so good about others, or not so good about the world. It's not that. This particular translation and embodiment of perfection is better understood as a fullness. And this yoga philosophy of fullness invites us to tap into a kind of truth about a fullness which can never be unfull. So this Purnatva, this Purnatvic fullness, if you think about, for example, the moon, you can take light away from the moon, but it doesn't lose its fullness. There are times where we feel and see its fullness, and there are times where we miss its light and it goes through all the phases, but the moon itself remains full. As a metaphor, this is perhaps helpful. So this kind of fullness, and it's one of the 6 attributes of the universal in Tantric yoga philosophy. Probably each one of us has had a moment in time where things just feel perfect to us. We feel that sense of fullness in life, and it may just be a nanosecond, or it may be sustained for a while. Something happens in your world, and it's like, things are just as they should be, and it feels just right. That's a kind of felt sense of fullness, the fullness that I'm talking about today. The invitation in our practice, though, is to allow all of what is, what we would normally term as an imperfection, or as a limitation of the self, or as something unkindly, allowing that to be part of this fullness. So as I said, you can take from fullness and it doesn't stop being full. You can add to fullness and it doesn't stop being full, right? We take the light away from the moon, we add the light back, it stays full as it is. So just see how that lands for you. And the yoga practice is a beautiful offering to help us to feel into fullness. And we can do this by feeling into the fullness, for example, of our sensation, knowing that in a moment our asana, our shape, the shape and the form that we take is going to shift and change again. So being able to let yourself feel into the fullness of an expression is going to be something I offer to you again and again in today's practice. So for right now, let's bring our hands together in front of the heart. And if closing your eyes is really feeling like the right thing to be doing right now, I invite you to do that yet again. And take a moment simply to notice the sensation of one hand finding the other, and vice versa, the other hand finding the other back. Right here in front of the heart. Allowing the breath to deepen with the exhalation. We'll join our voices for the sound of one Om. Full exhale. Inhale deeply. And release hands, release the eyes. And one way to enter more deeply into a felt sense of fullness is to work with the breath, pranayama, controlled breathing. And there's a particular pranayama that I'd like to share. It's called 3-part breath. So if you bring a hand to the belly, just below the navel, and see if you can feel the movement of the belly with the breath. So as you inhale, the diaphragm moves down, the belly moves out, and as you exhale, the diaphragm moves up and the belly moves in. So just noticing that, letting the hand move, and noticing if the hand doesn't move. And if the hand doesn't move, then chances are you're in a shallow breath. And perhaps through this invitation, that will shift and change for you. And if not, that's all part of the fullness too. So we'll just let that be. If at any point this pranayama begins to create more stress for you, you can simply let it go and come back to your natural breath. And or be curious and stick with it and see if that shifts and changes. All right. So breathing and feeling the movement of the belly. Let's bring a hand now to the rib cage. And then this next inhalation, we'll do it in 2 parts. We'll breathe into the belly and then into the rib cage to widen the rib cage. And then we let it go on the exhalation, the whole thing. And try that again. As you inhale, part of the inhale fills the belly. The next part opens and widens the rib cage. And then we let that go. And now we're going to add the 3rd part, which is breathing all the way up to fill the collarbones, top of the lungs. Okay? This should not be stressful or strained. Let it be easy. And if it's not easy, just see if you can back it off a little bit and let it be more easy. So on the next inhalation, let the belly move the hand, one part, and then the next part of the breath widens the rib cage, and the 3rd part of the breath fills all the way up, 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 and into the collarbones. And then we exhale, and we let all that go. Let's do several of those. Okay, I will lead you again. Inhaling into the belly, into the rib cage, up to the collarbone, it go. And one more time I will lead you, and then you can lead yourself. Inhale one part into belly, next part into rib cage, third part up to collarbone, and let it go. Follow your own lead here, your own breath, 3-part. And take one more. Let go of the hands. Come back to your natural breath. And just notice if anything has shifted for you. For me, I'm noticing, for example, a little bit less tension in my jaw. A little more ease in my spine. A little more depth in my breath. A little more quiet feeling in my third eye, in my head. Notice what you notice, and if you don't notice a change, you can simply notice that. Okay. Now I invite you to take your right hand onto the skin of the left side of your chest. Yeah, you want to make contact with the skin. We're going to gently draw the skin away from the neck, and the neck, so away and down, and then the neck away from the draw of the hands. And you can work very subtly here, maintaining easy breath, moving the head in any direction. And inhale to come out. Take a moment in the center to notice the two sides that may feel quite different. And we'll take the left hand onto the right side of the chest, the skin. We'll draw that skin down and away, sort of at a diagonal, and then start to move the head in the opposite direction of the hand. Two sides of the neck may feel very different, mine do. Moving the head any which way, exploring here, letting this be your own play, your own inquiry. Maybe there's a sound that wants to escape the lips, let it out. Maybe it's just a stronger sound of the exhalation, like a good, and then inhale to release that. Come to center line. And just check in with your feeling of breath, feeling of a kind of fullness. You know, is there more light on your moon right now? Is there less light on your moon right now? And then let's take left fingertips to the earth and right hand on the right hip. Feel the grounding in both sits bones, and as you inhale, find some length in the sides of the body, just enough, you don't have to overdo this. Then begin to let yourself explore without losing the ground in both of your sits bones. And I really mean it. Let yourself explore. Move any way you want to for this side stretch. You know, letting the arm and the hand get involved. Maybe pressing the floor away with your left hand. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Just maintaining your ground. Stay rooted as you explore here. And let this feel fun. Let this feel good. You might be surprised by where you find sensation. And then exhale to bring it down. Take a moment in center line just to feel. Noticing if there are, again, any subtle changes. The two sides feel different. And then we'll take the other side. So right fingertips to the ground, left hand to left hip, rooting strongly through both sits bones. Begin to walk your way into a side stretch any amount. Like I found sensation right away, so I'm not going to go that far on this side. I'm just going to explore what I found over here in my hip. For you, it may be different. Oh, yeah, and there may be sounds. These areas of the body store experience that's not always fully metabolized. It can be from earlier in the day or the week or the year or the life or even the life of our ancestors. So just letting a sound escape as you move these areas of the body where there may be stagnant energy, where there may be stories that have yet to be told or released, that may still have some kind of hold in an unconscious way over your own fullness of self-expression, for example. So yoga is simply here to support you to have the felt experience of your own fullness and your full potential, coming back to center, finding breath. Taking a moment again just to notice, what does it feel like now after just that little bit of movement? The pranayama 3-part breath, the stretch of the fascia with the help of the hand, and the side stretch personal exploration. Taking fingertips out in front, pause, get into subtleness inside of yourself, finding a flow of energy, and following that flow and that inner intelligence, decide to play however much you want here, moving yourself into a forward fold, a seated forward fold. A tendency, particularly if you are of the Western cultural mindset, is to move right away, right to an edge, to your edge, and even to push yourself beyond it. The invitation here to feel more fullness is to not do that, to do something less. To do a little less, to feel a little more, and to then know yourself more deeply and feel more of this gift of fullness, which is your birthright, which cannot be unfull, which encompasses everything, even the feelings and the experiences that are difficult and challenging that you'd prefer to put in the garbage dumpster. Nothing goes in the dumpster because it's just part of fullness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's take that all the way forward now onto hands and knees. We're going to get a little flowy in our expression of cat and cow. So coming onto hands and knees, and if this doesn't work for you on your knees, you can do this standing with hands at the wall or hands on your knees. Good. And what feels good to me right now as I even find my way in is just a little movement in the hips. Letting that translate, maybe some circling. But you do you. And this is what's feeling good in my body, and I'm inviting you to find what feels good in your body. How does your body want to move in this shape? Nice and wide in the fingers. You can walk the hands forward a little bit and start to make this a little bigger. And again, if there's a sound that wants to come out, let it come. Chances are the only one listening to you right now is you. So can you free that sound? We hold it back, and that turns into repression and stagnant energy. So letting sound come, and moving it through. Very nice. And on the next inhalation, see if you can move it through all the way onto your bellies for a little cobra flow. Where I'm at right now in this northern hemisphere, it's cold out. I've got my heater on, and now my face is really close to the heat, and that feels really nice. Okay, hands at the side of the rib cage. A gentle hugging of the skin into muscle to bone in the legs, just enough. A rooting of the tailbone, inhaling shoulders towards ears. Up onto back, head lifts, and exhale it down. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale it up, exhale it down, inhale it up, exhale it down. And come onto your forearms, and elbows can be under the shoulders or forward. Experiment, wag your tail. Then take the left forearm to be parallel to the top of the mat and put a bend in the right knee. Notice as you put a bend in the right knee, how the right sits bone lifts to meet the heel. That is wonderful. We love that. Now, you're going to work right there where you are, or you're going to slide the right hand back. If the right hand reaches the ankle, you'll play here. If it doesn't, you won't. You'll play without the hand at the ankle. Okay, either way is fine. Gently draw legs to midline, staying in the breath. Keep moving that heel towards the right buttocks and the buttocks towards the heel. Good. Root the tailbone and root through that right knee, putting maybe a bend in the right elbow. And as the right knee moves away from the heart moves away from the knee. And now try backing it off and just coming in a little bit less till you begin to feel sensation. And let that be a kind of fullness. Inhale that out. Make a little pillow with your hands. Wag your tail. Make a sound on the exhalation, a ha. And one more. Ha. Come on up to forearms again. Turn the right forearm to be parallel to the short end of the mat. Put a bend in the left knee. And notice again how when that heel moves towards the left sits bone, the sits bone lifts. That is lovely. We want this. Come into your breath. Now gently draw those legs isometrically towards one another on the mat. So they don't really have to move. They just need to hold a midline in a hug. Good. Keep that movement of the heel towards the sits bone towards the heel, and then begin to root the tailbone down and the left knee away. Slide the left hand to meet the left ankle, and if you meet that, then you'll continue the work here as is, or without the hand, you continue it the way we started. Left knee moving away, maybe a bend in the left elbow, heart moving forward, maybe backing it off a little bit, finding sensation, letting yourself experience the fullness of the sensation without even necessarily having to go that far. And exhale it out. Toes together, knees wide. Press yourself through the hands to come back into the pose of a child. Head on hands, maybe wagging tailbone. Again, maybe making that ha sound like you were going to fog up a mirror on the exhalation. And on your next inhale, find your way to lying on your backside. And we're going to be on our backs for a little while. You're going to want a block and a strap. Take your hands out wide to a T. And just let yourself notice the gift of the solid ground beneath you, steady, holding you, supporting you. Wonderful. Good. Bring a little arch into the lower back. On the inhalation, draw the heels towards the sits bones, and on the exhalation, press the lower back into the earth, into your mat, and notice how the sits bones move towards each other. And on the inhalation, bringing in that curve, the heels move towards the sits bones widen, and exhale. Take a couple more of those. Bringing in your awareness, your noticing. Noticing how this movement of the spine translates all the way up through the body, into the neck, into the head, and exhaling it out. Good. Let's take the right foot now towards the sky and reaching through the heel, moving knee towards straight. On the inhalation, root the head of the femur bone more deeply into the socket, and on the exhalation, press more fully through the heel. Nice and wide in the toes. Inhale, root. Exhale, press and rise through the foot. Exhale that foot down. Take a moment in the middle just to notice. Let your noticing be its own fullness. And on the next inhalation, left foot meets the sky. And exhale. Inhale, see if you can draw the head of the femur even more deeply into the socket. The softness in the knees, and as you exhale, press through the heel to move that knee more towards straight. Doesn't have to become straight. Widen the toes. Inhale, root it in. Exhale, press through the foot. Move towards straight. One more time. Inhale, root it in. Exhale, press through the heel. And inhale that foot down. Take a moment in the middle. And on your next inhale, take feet up and off the ground. Arms are rooted at the side. Feel the rooting behind the shoulder blades, backside of the arms, palms facing sky. Activate the toes. And on your next inhale, start to take knees towards the left, any amount. Maybe we'll start with just a little ways into the twist or halfway. And then inhale it back to center and start to move towards the right. Twisting. Inhale it back to center towards the left, maybe going a little deeper this time. Inhale, center towards the left. Inhale it up. Oh, sorry, that was the right. Now we're going left. Oh, maybe you're going to take it over this time, all the way over, depending upon the warmed upness of your body and your mechanics today at this time. And then inhale, take it to the right. I've got all my rights and lefts mixed up. Sorry about that. And take a moment there. And one last time, let's inhale it to center and take it as far left as you're going to take it. Breathe. Sustain. Feel fullness. Feel perhaps even a melting of the pubic bone down and back to widen sits bones. Root tailbone into that space. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. And then inhale, bring those knees up to center and towards the right, maybe all the way down. Maybe you're stopping with knees on a bolster or a block. Still active in toes. And being in the breath, we then invite just a gentle curve in the lower back. That's another way of cueing. And then rooting tailbone into that space, feeling a lengthening in the left side of the body, softening of the jaw, any amount, even microcosmic softening of the jaw muscles and the skin of the face. And then inhale it back up and exhale the feet down. Woo, all right. Let's take the right foot up to sky again. This time we're going to reach the hands through the back side of the leg, the hamstring muscle. Using the hand, we're going to root the head of that femur more deeply into the hip socket. A little softness in the knee. Inhale, and then exhale, we reach through the heel. Move towards straight without losing that rooting in the hip socket. Good. And on the inhalation, let's take that knee right up and into the heart. If it works for you to extend the left leg, extend it out and press the inner thigh in towards the earth. It'll bring a little curve into the lower back. Keep that curve and then draw the right knee even more deeply towards the heart or the armpit. Then on your inhale, reach with the left hand to the right heel and draw that heel up towards the heart. Knee will open to side. Again, come in and melt that pubic bone down and back to bring a little more curve in the lower back. And notice what happens, what becomes available, a more full expression here, maybe more sensation, an opening of the knee. Root the tailbone down. Find length through foot and crown. Breathe into the belly. And then on the next inhale, bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the floor, and take the right ankle in front of the left knee. Good. Here we are in figure 4. Now this might be just right where you want to work. You can lift the toes of the left feet. Let's activate the toes of both feet and then see if there's more. Let's see if there's a deeper figure 4, reaching through with the hands to the back side of the thigh of the left leg. Pause, breathe, reactivate toes. Nice. Take a tiny curve in the lower back. And then play here. Which is the right edge for you? Right here, right now. It may change a minute from now. The right amount may change again. But just right here, right now, in this moment, let yourself explore. Let that be an expression of fullness. Lovely. On the exhalation, take that left foot to the floor. Right foot moves towards the left for a twist, open arms wide. Breathe. It's so good to breathe. And then inhale your way out. And I have to remember that sequence now on the other side. Right foot comes down. Okay. Inhale, left foot comes towards sky. Now we're going to reach through with the hands to the back of the hamstring. And pause. Find your breath. Soften the skin of the face, even a microcosm. Or just notice that maybe the skin of the face doesn't want to soften, so we just notice that. Then using the hands, draw the head of the femur more deeply into the socket. It can be very subtle, or it might feel like, whoa, what just happened there? Softness in the knees. And then from deep in the hip socket, we press through the heel on the exhalation. Good. And on the next inhale, draw that knee in towards the heart. Perhaps the right leg extends. If it does, inner thigh presses into the earth, creating a little curve in the lower back. Then draw the knee in more deeply. Good. On your next inhale, reach with the right hand to the left heel, active toes. Drawing that heel towards heart, knee opens towards the left. Pause. Bring a little curve into the lower back and see if that allows that left knee to open even more. Enjoy and breathe. And on your next inhalation, right foot comes to the floor with a bent knee, left ankle over right knee for a figure four shape. Pause here and just see, is this where I'm working today, right now? Then activate the toes of both feet. Maybe you're going to lift the toes of the right foot, and this is where you're working. And the left knee starts to move away from the heart and shin. Maybe there's something deeper, so lifting the right foot right off the floor and reaching through with the hands. Pause. Imagine that little curve in the lower back, and then work right here at your own expression of fullness. Is it a less is more moment on this side? The two sides may be very different. Is it somewhere in between, like Goldilocks? A more is more moment? Explore. On the next inhale, take right foot to floor, open arms wide, and root behind the shoulders and behind the arms. Take that left foot towards the right for a twist. Stay active in the feet. And even here, that pubic bone can drop down and back, and then root through the left sits bone to get length in the side of the body. And then see if you can soften something in the jaw, something in the gaze, something in the gaze towards yourself, something about your gaze towards the world. Can it soften just an iota? To be more deeply in the experience of fullness, whether that be a moon with or without light or somewhere in between. Good, and then inhale, come back to center. Let's just take the belt. We're going to do one more thing on our back. Utthita Hasta Parangustasana. You know the one. All right. I love to say Sanskrit fast like that because it makes me feel really boss as a teacher. All right, we're going to take the strap around the balls of the foot, walk the hands up the sides of the strap. Left foot either stays rooted on the floor with a bent knee or you extend the leg. If you extend the leg, inner thigh presses to the earth. Activate the feet. Stay in the breath. Now soften the hands down so that the shoulder blades melt onto the back. Breathe again. See if you can get that breath right into the belly. Fill the ribs. Fill the collarbone. Breathe it all out with a Take both sides of the strap into the left hand. Open right arm to the right. Begin to take the right foot towards the midline, and once you feel sensation, pause for it. Pause for it. Spend a moment there. You know, what's it like to be in a quarter moon? And can that still be, can you still know that you are in fullness? And begin, keep taking it towards the left if that feels good to your body. And you can just explore here how far into this invitation of a deep cross-body twist would your body like to go right now? Keeping feet active. Whew. Yeah, maybe there's a sound that some part of your body would like to make right now as an expression, as a release, as an exploration. A micro movement in the hips, exploring Exploring, exploring. Good. Ooh, something just opened up in my right shoulder as I did that. Feels so good. And then inhale to take that leg all the way up. Take both sides of the strap in the right hand. Left hand comes on top of the left thigh if it's outstretched. Press into the earth. Really ground through that left thigh and begin to open with active toes the right foot towards the right. If you feel the left thigh unroot, pop up, you've gone too far, back it off, reroot, and just see. That might be right where your sweet spot is for today, for right now. We work with integrity as an expression of our fullness. Integrity towards ourselves. Inhale it up, integrity in right relationship with ourselves and the world. Exhale, take that leg all the way down slowly. And give yourself a moment to feel the two sides. Chances are they don't feel quite the same. Maybe even radically different. All right, both feet to the floor. Left foot to sky. Wrap that belt around the balls of the feet and walk the hands up. Maybe if you're going to outstretch your right leg, do it now. And gently press the inner thigh towards the earth for that gentle curve in the lower back. Active toes. And then take the curve again. Very nice. Soften the hands down the strap until the shoulder blades melt into the back body. You can feel the shoulder blades in contact with the mat. Take both sides of the strap into the right hand. Open left arm out to the left. With active toes, begin to explore here. Moving towards and across midline until, whoa, hello, IT band. Lots and lots of sensation. Breathe into sensation. Support yourself with the breath. You can handle it. It's just a part of life is to feel these things, and yoga supports us to learn how to feel more of our sensations, to feel more of ourselves. And if and when it's ready, you can take this deeper or not. You decide. Your choice. Coming into as full of an expression of twist as you like. And once you get there with your active toes, you can micro move in the hips. Maybe bringing a little more curve, maybe rooting tailbone more, finding an opening in the side of the body, feeling it all the way out through the left fingertips as something there maybe softens or lets go, or maybe in your face. Making a sound. And then inhale it up. Take both sides of the strap into the left hand. Open the right hand. Take the right hand on top of the right thigh if it's outstretched. Active toes. And begin to take that left leg towards the left. Stay in the breath. And as soon as you notice that right thigh popping up and coming unrooted, root it back down, back it off. Stay rooted. Maybe that's where your edge is, or just explore. Maybe there's a little bit more. There's nowhere to get here. You're not in competition with anyone, especially with yourself. You're not in competition with yourself right now. But if that does arise, can you allow that simply to be part of the fullness? And inhale it up. Exhale, slowly lower the foot down. And take a moment just to feel that. How do the two sides feel now? And here in the middle, where we're not efforting, can something in the jaw soften? Just an iota, the tiniest bit, kind of melting. All right, from here we're going to get onto our feet. So you're going to roll to a side and come up, or rock and roll it on the spine, forward and back. And see what feels good to you. If you're rolling it through, like I am, take your time and enjoy. Let me see where we are. Oh yeah, that's great. Let's bring our blocks to the front of our mat. And we'll bring our strap as well, which we'll use in just a moment. Actually, let's use our strap right now. let's take our strap. I'm going to get rid of this because I'm warming up. And you can just notice that going from lying on your back to standing is a transition. See what happened for you there. Was that an easy transition for you to make? Did you feel dizzy? Do you need to give yourself more time? Just noticing and taking good care of yourself. All right. Okay, so let's take our hands on the strap as such. Look down at your feet. Gently move forward and back, maybe a little bouncing of the knees forward and back. Feel the weight moving, distributing forward and back. Then lift and spread the toes. Good. And let's take the hands out front and gently draw the hands away from one another and see if you can feel that up and into shoulders. And now widen. Drawing shoulders back and take it up, up, any amount. Pause if you found a locked spot, just pause for a second, slow it down, breathe into that and see if there's a little opening possible. Pressing through feet, nice and full in the breath. Take it up, maybe you need to widen your hands. Good. Now we're going to put a bend in the right elbow, and that left hand we're going to take it behind. Notice if the rib cage juts forward, draw the front of the rib cage down gently, and then inhale, take that hand forward. Exhale, back, forward. This can be micro, or you might want to take it bigger. Good. Inhale, release that out. Shake it out if you need to. Let's do it again. We'll take the other side. Hands on the strap. Gently draw them away from one another. Feel center line of the body. Open it up. Take it up. And right for here for a moment, see if you can tune into the pubic bone. Draw it down and back for a tiny, tiniest, even if you're just imagining it, melting of the thighs back. Root the tailbone. Put a bend now in the left elbow. Right hand moves back and forward, back and forward. If you notice the rib cage wanting to pull forward, just gently draw it towards the back body. Enjoy this experiment here. It's like, what are we doing? Do you enjoy this? Can this be an expression of fullness? Pause. Draw the hands away from one another. Take that hand a little forward, pause. And then exhale it out. Woo. Take the strap around back, hands on the strap. Find a little softness in the knees, find the breath, lift and spread toes, gently drawing shins towards one another. Feel that gentle melting of the the pubic bone down and back for a tiny widening of the sits bones, even if it's just imaginal. And then tailbone roots towards the floor. Lengthening the experience of the back body. Put a bend in the elbows, drawing shoulder blades towards one another on the back. And then maybe, just maybe, hands move away from the body. Maybe you need to widen your hands. Heart lifts. Chin gently draws back. Breath is easy. Good. Inhale, release that. Nice, everybody. Okay. Check in with yourself, see how you're doing. Shake anything out you need to. Make a sound. Actually, let's take feet a little wide. Shake through fingertips, and then begin to just let the hands move from side to side. The heel will lift on one of your feet as you do this. Let it lift. Let the eyes notice what they notice as you move from side to side. I have two really different views on either side of me. One takes me outside to the outside of my space here, and this is the inside of my space. So just notice and be with what is, and then back it off. And back to center. Good. All right. Come to center. Feel the feet. Lift and spread toes, muscular energy, hands on the top of the thighs, that gentle, gentle melting of the thighs back and the widening of the sits bones apart in the back body, creating space at the back of the sacrum, creating space in front of the hips, and then lengthening the back body, taking tailbone down. Ooh, inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. This time we're going to forward fold it. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands move to the sides, soften the knees for a forward fold, a swan dive. Now you can take hands to knees, take hands to blocks. I'm going to take hands to blocks. You can even take your fingertips to the floor. Good. And notice where you are. Maybe a little tail wagging here. So we're not locked up or frozen up, but we do want action in the feet and in the legs. We want strength here, strength and stability. And then see if there's a little more forward fold here to let go of the head a little bit more. Ooh, nice and heavy. Let something go in the head. Keep a softness in the knees. And on the inhalation, pressing through the feet, draw the heart forward. Exhale, fold it. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold it. And on your next inhalation, step back with the right foot into a lunge. And pause. Find breath. Now gently drawing those legs in towards the midline. We're going to rock it. On the next inhalation, lift the toes of the front foot, lift the front foot, put a bend in the back knee. Ooh, and let yourself feel into the belly of the hamstring. There's a lot of sensation in there. Let yourself be with that sensation. Bring the breath to it. Feel the fullness of that sensation. And then let it go by bringing that foot back down and coming into your lunge. Once again, drawing legs to midline, pressing through the feet, getting long through the crown. See if you can soften between the shoulder blades to soften into the back of the heart. And soften the skin around the eyes. Maybe take your eyes to the right without moving your head. Take your eyes to the left. And one more time back to the right and back to the left. Now center and rock. Forward, back, and then whoop, step the back foot forward. Let go of the head with soft knees. Make a sound. Inhale the heart forward. Maybe moving the blocks. Keep action of the drawing of ankles and shins towards one another as the heart moves forward. And then exhale, letting go of the heart again. On the next inhale, take the heart forward and step the left foot back. Maybe moving the blocks. And pause. Find the breath. Feel your feet. Find your rooting. Now gently drawing legs in towards that imaginary midline. It's not so imaginary. There is a midline. Good. Feel a gentle melting of the back thigh back and towards sky, and then a rooting of front sits bone down. Get long through feet and crown. Melt behind the heart. Now we're gonna work that hamstring. So on the inhalation, front toes lift, front foot lifts, back knee bends, moving front knee towards straight, getting into sensation in the belly of the hamstring. Whoop-ah! Hello, intensity. Breathing into intensity, the fullness of that sensation, and then inhale it out. We're done. Rock it, and step it forward. Whew. Let go of the head, soft knees, drawing ankles together. Inhale the heart forward. Good. This time, pressing through feet, opening hands with a long straight back. Reverse swan dive. All the way up. Root down through the feet, rise through the fingertips. And exhale your hands to the heart. Nice job, everyone. All right. Let's take the belt one more time. If you don't have a belt, I should have mentioned this earlier. If you don't have a belt, a tie will work, a scarf will work, a towel, or just not using one at all. is also an option. Even a shirt, I think, could probably work for this. Okay, feel your feet, find your breath, find your rooting, your sense of ground. Now find midline. Feel a gentle melting of the thighs back, widening of sits bones, coming more into fullness when we do this, and then a gentle, subtle lengthening of the back body. Ooh, let's take our hands up. Wider. Nice. Pressing through, especially the left foot, begin to take yourself into a side stretch towards the right. Breathing. Micro moving, so less is more again. I'm backing myself off a little bit so I can feel into this more deeply. And in so doing, I just get a deeper hit of fullness. If I go right to my edge, I become a little stuck, right? It becomes a little rigid, so I back it off. There's more flow, there's more feeling, there's more fullness. And that, my friends, is a tremendous gift at any time in our life. Back to center. Whew, if you need to lower your arms because it's a lot to keep them up there that much, go ahead, give them a shake out. Whew. Okay, let's try the other side. Taking hands up. Lift and spread toes. Feel that gentle hug to midline with legs, a melting of the thighs back, a widening of sits bones, even if it's just imaginal, a lengthening in the back side of the body, rooting of tailbone. Good. Rooting through right foot especially, we take hands towards the left with the strap. Pause, less is more. Root again through feet as you experiment moving into this space. Maybe there's some micro movement in the shoulders. And maybe a little softening in the skin of the face. Softening around the eyes. Even noticing what your eyes land on is nice. Breath stays easy, breath stays full. Maybe there's more here for you. Maybe backing it off is the right thing to do. Breathing, then inhale to come up and bring it on down. Let go of that strap again, shake it out, maybe bounce it out, maybe circle it out. Okay, coming back to the top of your mats. Find your feet, press into the feet, inhale the hands high. Softening the knees, swan diving it forward, hands onto blocks. Let the head go. Press into the feet, inhale, heart forward. Exhale, let go of the head, make a sound. On the next inhale, lift the heart forward and step back with the right foot. Ground the back foot to be parallel to the short side of the mat. Walk the blocks to the inside at a diagonal and pause. Nice. Now we're going to isometrically draw our feet towards one another on the mat. You'll feel the activation of the muscles of the inside of the legs. Good. Now take the sits bones back. Walk the blocks forward any amount. Get long in the spine. Let this feel good to you. And if it doesn't feel good, back it off. Find what does. Nice. Inhale, walk the blocks back. Turn back onto the balls of the back foot. Bring weight into the right hand on the block. Left hand comes to the left hip. Pause. We're going to come into a gentle twist. Draw legs in towards the midline. Press through the feet. Right side of the body is very curious about the left side, and it wants to turn to see what's going on over here. Yeah, root through the feet. Get long through the crown and the feet. Breathe. Nice. Inhale to come out. Rock, rock. Step it forward. Let go of the head. Make a sound. On the next inhale, heart comes forward, left foot steps back. Turn the back foot to be parallel to the short side of the mat. Walk the blocks into a diagonal. Hello, glasses. I don't want to ruin you. It's very easy to do. I've done that with many pairs. Pause. Breathe. Isometric draw of feet towards one another on the mat, activating the muscles of the inside of the legs. Sits bones move back, walk. Hands forward any amount on the blocks, or maybe you're already there. Find the length in the spine. Oh, make a sound if you want to. Inhale, walk the blocks back. Turn that back foot onto the balls of the foot. Come into the left hand on block. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Pause again. Draw legs to midline. Press through feet. Left side body wants to see what's going on the right. Recommit through the legs. Press through feet. Get long through crown as you find your way into a gentle twist. Soften the muscles of the jaw. Inhale, unwind yourself. Rock it, rock it, rock it all the way forward. Let go of the head. Make another sound. Press through feet. Inhale, heart forward. Open arms to side. Come on up. And reach for the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Wonderful. Let's come to the wall. So I've already got my mat at the wall. I just got to move a couple things. So get yourself set up. Once again, hello glasses. Don't want to break you. All right. Let's take our hands to the wall, nice and wide, and the fingers at shoulder height. Good. Breathe. Nice. Gently draw hands towards one another. Press through feet. And draw the heart up towards the sky into a mini cobra or up dog. And then on the exhalation, bend the knees, walk the feet back, take the hips back into your downward facing dog, get long. Breathe. And then inhale, bring it through to plank into your up dog. And exhale, draw it back. Inhale it forward. Exhale it back. And then inhale, round it up. Walk it forward. Okay, we're going to do figure 4 using the wall to support us. So stand so that your left hip is facing the wall. Reach so that fingertips are there so you can find balance easily. Find the breath. Good, and then bring weight into the left foot. Lift and spread toes. Put a softness in the standing leg. Take weight out of the right foot, bring that into the ankle, and you're going to find your way up to ankle above the knee like we did when we were on our back. And notice what's already happening in the shape of my body. I'm beginning to sit back. Activate both feet and begin to take the sits bones back and wide. Upper body will hinge forward. Find sensation and pause there. Now if you got your blocks, and you want to take this more deeply with the fingers at the wall, or you can take fingers off the wall, bring hands to blocks. This is deep, right? So you just experiment to see what's right for your body right now. Working right up here is perfectly fine and perfect. It's Purnatva, right? It's perfection in the sense of fullness. Good, and then we inhale to come out of that. Shake it out. Woo! All right. And if you're working with blocks, bring them around. Right hip is now facing right wall, right fingertips at the wall. Breathe. Bring weight into the right foot, lift and spread toes, soften the knee, take weight out of the left foot, draw it into ankle. Begin to draw it up until it's above the knee, and notice what's happening. I'm beginning to sit back. Good. Yeah. So feel that activation in the feet, the draw to midline, but then notice how the sits bones widen as you go back into a deeper seat. And maybe you're not going into a deeper seat, and that's okay, like I said. But if you are, then just see what happens. Find sensation. And if you're feeling pretty open here, you can experiment with, bringing a hand to a block. Or maybe even both hands to blocks. Whoop-ah! Fullness. The moon is always full, whether it's full of light or darkness or somewhere in between. Inhale it up, shake it out, move the blocks, and take a wide stance on your mat. Hands on hips. Just for a moment, let's take the hands out wide for a 5-pointed star. And breathe. Feel your own bigness. And then turn left toes to the left and put a bend in the left knee. Take the hands down into a warrior. Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Pause and breathe. Isometric draw feet towards one another like we did before. Bring your right hand onto your right thigh and just gently remind it, encourage it to melt back. And then take the other hand and draw that sits bone down and under. Press through both feet. Look out over your hand and feel yourself as warrior, spiritual warrior of fullness. Hold this for as long as you like. And when you're ready to come out, straighten that front leg, turn the feet, walk the feet together, bounce, let go through fingertips. We'll take a big, wide stance again, open to five-pointed star, just for a moment to let yourself be big. Take up some space and then turn that right toes to the right, put a bend in the right knee, arms into warrior, and pause. Good. Shorter stance is more stability. Larger stance is more freedom. Find your stance. Breathe. Then isometric draw of legs towards one another. Left hand on the front of the left thigh. Gently melt it back. Just remind it. There, we can feel this fullness. We can have the felt sense of fullness. Other hand draws the tailbone down and under, sits bone down and under. Press through feet. Look out over your hand from a place of fullness that can never not be full. It contains it all, warts and all. Inhale to release, turn that foot forward. Good, now we're in a shape of Prasarita Padottanasana. Be good to have blocks for this. Nice and wide in the feet. Hands on hips. Good. Lift and spread toes, activate. Nice. And then begin to hinge yourself forward at the hips. Take your time. The sits bones will widen back, legs stay active, 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 hands onto blocks. Heart forward, press through the feet, micro move in the hips. Nice. Right block, left block to center, right hand to right hip, press through feet, gentle twist. Exhale it out, other side, right block, right hand to left hip, press through feet, gentle twist. Exhale it out. Good. Walk your feet towards one another. And from here we're going to get to seated. So if you can get to seated right from here, come on down. If you need to get down to seated in another way, do it whatever way works for you. I'm going to grab my stuff and pull it back over. Come into a seated position. Blocks out of the way. And in order to support the curves in the lower back, you may need to sit up on something. Some of my students need to sit pretty high because their hamstrings are pretty tight. We're going to open our legs wide, right? And then they need to stick something under the knees to support them. For me, old-time yogi, I don't need much. I can get right on the ground. Got the curve. It's good. So you decide what's right for you, what's going to be most supportive. And let's take our fingertips behind us for a moment. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel contact with sits bones, backs of thighs, backs of shins, backs of heels. And then out of the deep place in the pelvis, let the heart find its way towards the sky. Maybe the corners of the mouth find their way towards the ears and the sky. And for just a moment, we drop in to the felt sense of fullness. Okay, inhale your way out. Take a hand under one knee, a hand under the other. Bring those feet together and find your way onto your backs. 4, Shavasana. And if once you get on your backs, there's more that your body would like, such as a happy baby, a bridge pose, or a twist, go ahead and give it to yourself. Take the time that you need. If sitting in meditation would feel good to you right now, I also invite you to do that. And then once you get settled, I'm going to read you something that I feel works really well with today's theme. And this is from the Radiant Sutras. It's number 79. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, translated by Lauren Roche. Let's see how this feels. Oceans embrace a continent. Space welcomes the sun. Embrace yourself this generously. Form your arms into a circle and cherish the arising of serenity. Attend the birth of something new. Thoughts dissolve into peace, and you become the one who embraces all.